Hello, and welcome to another episode of Talking Rangers. Today is Friday, December 27th. This is episode 50 of the Talking Rangers podcast. Make sure to please like and subscribe. Another week. It's actually been nice the last couple days, holiday break. No Rangers hockey, which has been a positive. That's when you know it's been a bad year, when the off days sometimes are better than the actual days they play. Since the last time we spoke, a lot has happened. Another trade. Rangers have lost. I think we spoke prior to the Nashville game, so that was a good week and a half now. They lost to Nashville, beat Dallas, and then lost to Carolina in a really bad game where they scored 17 seconds in, and then that was it. Terrible second period, and they blew it. Yeah, all the way around was awful. So 0-2 now in games this year. The team in games I've attended this year has been outscored 8-1, 3-1 against the Flyers, 5-0 against the Devils. They didn't even show up.
That's not going to games.
Yeah, that's probably the last one for me this year. I don't see why there'd be any reason to spend more money.
I'm not going to any more games either.
Yeah, no. It's just not worth spending the money right now to watch this team not even be competitive. It's not like it's a young team that's playing hard. There's no fight. They had 12 shots on goal on Monday. They didn't even show up. The power play stinks. They don't make any adjustments. So here we are, Joe. How's it going?
Ugh. This team sucks. It's not even fun to watch. Like we were talking before, it's not even fun to watch. Like, why are we watching this team? I'd rather watch the World Juniors, to just watch Gabe Perreault than watch this team. I mean, the energy, the effort, any word that you can find to describe this team as positive, you cannot. Like, there's no word everything about this team is negative. I mean, I don't know. They lack. It just looks like they're just going out there and going through the motions, and there's not really a lot of emotion. They have no offense. They don't score anymore. I mean, tweet this out. In the last 20 games, they have 6 power play goals. 3 of those are in one game. They've gone 6 games in a row without a power play goal. I think they're 0 for the last 16. They don't score even strength. They don't score. They just don't score goals anymore. I mean,
they don't score at all.
They went 0 for 4 against the Devils. They scored none against the Devils. They scored one against the Hurricanes, which was like 17 seconds into the game.
17 seconds in by the fourth line too, right? I believe it was VZ.
VZ.
The only line that produces
2. Did they score 2 against Dallas or 3? I think 3 with the empty net.
Kreider had the empty net.
Yeah, that doesn't count. So 2 against Dallas. They got shut out.
And Igor stood on his head in that game.
Yeah, and then they got shut out. So in the last 4 games, they scored 2 goals or 3 goals, and then an empty net goal. They scored, and then against Dallas, they had a shorthanded goal. So, I mean, the last 4 games, they've scored 3 goals. I'm not counting the empty netter. 2 against Dallas, 1 against the Hurricanes. 3 goals.
And they got shut out against the worst team in the NHL.
Yeah.
And then the week prior, they lost 2-1 at home to, at the time, the worst team in the NHL. So, and that's what's crazy is we talk about it. We were just talking about it off air. It's not crazy to say this team's one of the worst team, if not the worst team, especially when you consider where this team should be and how much money they're putting into this roster. One of the worst teams in the NHL, because they've already lost to the 2 worst teams, one of them at home, and they got the Blackhawks next weekend, I believe.
And you were saying too, they shouldn't have beaten the Sharks that one game. Like they got
they shouldn't have.
They got bailed out by
Igor.
Igor played well in that game,
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they might have scored a power play goal in that game. I don't even remember. That game was so long ago, but
even the Anaheim game.
I think they tied the game, the Sharks. I think it was 1. Maybe they went down 1-0 early in that game. I think the Sharks scored. They were down early in that game, but when you have to claw back against one of the worst teams in the NHL, never a good sign. I mean, people paying all this money to go to these games.
Yeah.
And there's no return on investment. There's no return on investment with this team. I mean, you're basically burning money.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of kids that got Christmas. Usually I get a jersey for our Christmas. And I was like, dude, I'd rather get nothing than get a Rangers jersey. It's ridiculous of how did we get here?
I'd rather just get the money I wasted on the tickets back for Christmas rather than somebody wasting their money on a jersey to give to me for a team that stinks. No, I agree. And even that Ducks game too, earlier in the year, but I think it was 2-1. That was the game Jonathan Quick, I think, had like 32 or 33 something saves. Like he was really, really good that game. So they barely beat the Ducks as well. Like they're terrible. And yeah, I agree. The no return on your investment. We talked about it a little bit last week. Like my problems with the Gotham Sports app that I'm having. You're spending $30 a month.
At what point do you just cancel that?
It's probably going to happen eventually. But you're spending $30 a month. It's lagging. It kicks you out of the game. The team's not winning. There's nothing good right now about being a Rangers fan. There's nothing. And no matter how bad they are, the tickets, the prices for all these apps, all this stuff to watch the games, they're only going to go up. They're not going to drop. I mean, you to still get into the Garden is probably still one. I don't even know.
When's their next
with
home
fees?
game?
150, 160.
Let's see what the cheapest ticket is for the Rangers Bruins game.
And that's two. Where is that ticket? Because if you're talking about like standing room only all up by the Chase Bridge,
like
nobody wants to
$300.
sit up there. Yeah, so if those things are like 120, that's ridiculous. 110.
January 2nd, they play Thursday.
Those tickets should be like $50.
Well, this is
you're basically on the roof of MSG.
Cheapest ticket is the internet's bad. All right, cheapest ticket is gonna be $201 for standing room. Fuck. Are you kidding me? Like, who's paying for that?
That's ridiculous. And plus, too, whatever you pay, train ticket's not much, but you take the train, you got to get a train ticket, then you pay for the food, however much food is now at MSG. I haven't been yet this season, so I don't even know. Not that I'm not it's probably what, $12 for a hot dog, whatever. Like, so that on top of the ticket, I don't know if that's including fees, whatever. If that's fees, it's another $30 tax. It's ridiculous. But, and that's, it's just, it's seasons like this, it's days like today where being a Rangers fan, being a New York sports fan at times just stinks because it just absolutely suck because no team has won, since the Giants. The tickets just are so expensive every year. And the same goes here for the Rangers. You haven't won since 94. You're not going to probably even make the playoffs. And it's not a likable team. It's not a likable group of players either.
No. They bitch and they moan.
Yeah, it'd be one thing again, and we were talking about this a lot, but it's one thing if this was a team that was a young team, they were fun, even like the David Quinn years, like those teams, they were at least young, they were fun to watch. These teams are not, these games are grueling. Like they don't shoot, they don't even get any shots. It's literally dump and chase, line change, dump and chase. Nobody does anything.
They don't forecheck either.
No, they don't forecheck. There's no physicality, and the power play is broken, and they don't fix it. They don't, bro. It's
that I don't really want to talk about that anymore. I mean, my view on that. I've been saying it the whole offseason that they should have put Lafreniere on there.
Yeah, but it's crazy how bad the power play is. Like just being at that game on Monday, I think it's actually even worse in person. They don't even get any. It's awful. I mean, the Devils had at least 3-4 shorthanded chances. It is they can't even get the puck into their own zone with a man advantage. It's so bad. And in there, they took the two terrible penalties, too many men on the ice. I mean, those are just bad hockey teams take those penalties. Like that is an inexcusable penalty.
I mean, two.
And they
scored both of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the power play was awful because they had the 1-5-on-3 that they scored on. There was like 1 second left.
That's crazy.
And I think what's so
20 power play is ridiculous.
It's awful. And I think what's so crazy too is, I think we could also say this: the whole notion of this team being power play merchants is so true because they can't score in the power play, so they can't score.
Are they power play merchants?
Well, I mean, they can't score in the power play now, so I guess like they're not winning and they're not scoring on the power play.
I feel like they're not power play merchants because they don't score in the power play. They have a bad power play. They
don't, but it proves that like if they're not scoring on the power play, they can't win games.
I guess, but I feel like at the same point where it's just like you can't score on any numbered like power play, special teams, or strike. They can't score anyway. And I guess statistically, you're probably more likely to score when you have a guy up. So, but I see what you're saying, but at the same time, just like the power play sucks. So they're
No,
nothing.
yeah,
They're not
but
even.
in the past, the power play has been very
But
good,
yeah,
and they've
no, I
relied
get it.
on
I get
that.
it. Like they would win a
Yeah,
lot of games because of the power
the
play.
power play, and now the power play is
Yeah.
not playing well, and they're not winning because they can't score 5-on-5. They can't do anything well. They can't defend well. They can't score 5-on-5 well. The only thing they got going
No,
for
no,
them is
they no.
goaltending.
What are you talking about? They give up. Ivan Rush is pretty good. They're one of the best teams at
That is
that.
true. They do that well.
One of the best teams at being
Doing
soft.
good things though, well, they don't do. They do
The
bad
Rangers
things
are
well.
really good at doing bad things.
Goaltending's good.
If you want your team to be bad, you watch the Rangers.
They're just old, slow, and boring. That's what they
They're
are.
so bad. They're so
Um,
bad.
yeah, they're awful. I was gonna say something else, but I forgot what I was gonna say now. Either way, yeah, they're terrible. They're 16, 17-1, 33 points, which is tied for last in the Metro. So that's pathetic. Right now, you look at the wild card standing. There's 5 points out of Ottawa, and they've got 3 teams ahead of them: Pittsburgh with 37, Columbus, and in Philly. They're awful. They're awful. I mean, the Canadians might honestly jump them. They've been playing better hockey of late. They might honestly jump them here in a second. And so are the Islanders. There's a good chance by the next time we speak, with their schedule coming up, there's a good chance in the Eastern Conference standings, the Rangers are going to be like 8th in the wild card and 9th, maybe even 9th, because Detroit made a coaching change. Maybe that sparks them a little bit.
You know what's crazy?
Similar to what's happened in Boston.
They played one game past regulation this year, and it was the second game of the season.
Sorry, what was that?
They played one game this year past regulation.
Yeah. Yeah, they've only had one OT loss. That's another thing too. We don't even. I think we talked about that last week or one of these episodes. That it's not even like they're getting these games to overtime. They're so bad. They're getting crushed in regulation, and that's it.
They stink.
At least they would be competitive and maybe get a game to overtime. Lose a 5-4 game to the Devils. At least be entertaining. But nope, 5-0. I guess we could get to even their wins though. Like the Dallas win, it was all Igor. That Sabres win was when's the last game they've actually played where it was
Well, you can think of the wins on your you can count them on the hand, like the recent ones. The Sabres one wasn't good. The Canadiens one wasn't good. The Stars one wasn't good. So, I don't know. When's the last good win they had? Maybe like the Maple Leafs game in October.
Yeah, or that Montreal game where they had 7 goals.
Yeah, I thought that was that after that?
That was all the way back in like October too, I think.
They haven't played well since October.
No. Oh, it was
ever since they went on that. I mean, they still weren't playing great, but ever since they went on that trip out west, the team has absolutely given up. It's just,
yeah. You think? Is it possible that I don't know? I mean, is it possible something? I mean, this didn't happen, but did they get on the fight on the? Was there a fight on the team plane coming back from out west? That did Mika get his feelings hurt out west?
Probably, honestly, probably.
Yeah, it's possible. I guess we could talk about the Kaapo trade because that's some of the biggest news since the last time we spoke. This is just frustrating because if they were going to make this trade, they should have done it last year. This is a bad look for Drury, but his second trade here of the season, Rangers obviously deal Kakko to the Kraken. They get Will Borgen back, who, to be honest, has looked awful. 2025 third and a 2025 sixth. Second overall pick, 330 games played, 131 points. Never really fully got the best opportunities. He had some chances, but just an unfortunate tenure. As the second overall pick, not always probably used the best. He got time last year he got time up on the first line for like 10 games and they bumped him back down. Like he never really got a long look at those opportunities. So it's unfortunate, but I think what's so frustrating, and I know you've said this a lot too, is they could have dealt him last year for Gensel or somebody like that, which maybe put this team over the top. Instead, they're trading him now for a defenseman that's not even that good for a team that needs a lot more than Will Borgen. And the same thing goes for Trouba. They should have dealt him in the offseason. Instead, they traded him for Urho Vakanainen, who's not any good either. It's like Borgen's like you're basically just trading for Chad Ruedels. That's basically what they're doing. Just a bunch of depth,
Yeah,
like seventh and eighth defensemen that are going to rotate.
Not a good player. He's not a good player at all.
No. Borgen or Vakanainen?
Both of them suck.
Both, yeah. Borgen was awful. He had a terrible game against the Devils. Vakanainen stinks too. He got laid out against the Devils. I forget who it was, but he got crushed. I think it was actually a penalty. It might have been a penalty.
Yeah, both bad.
Yeah. But Kakko scored with the Kraken. When's the next time the Rangers play the Kraken? I can guarantee you he'll score in that game. Or did they already have? They already played the Kraken? No, never mind. They don't play the Kraken at all the rest of the year because they played them away and then home.
Yeah, they're done with the
That
Kraken.
was the 7-5 game. They blew that one. What are your thoughts on Kakko being traded though?
I don't know. I mean, if they were going to trade him, they should have done, like you said, for Gensel. I mean, that was a huge, ridiculously, almost a fireable offense just for that by Drury, not, getting nothing for him. That he should have been fired for that. They could have waited to the deadline to get more from him. That was a little ridiculous that they panicked and traded him. So you get nothing from him. He really wasn't one of your issues, but for some reason they kind of made him an example, which again makes no sense. Who knows if he says stuff in the locker room or, there's some other factors that go through why they kind of scratch him, but I don't know. The eye test on the ice doesn't translate to him being scratched or traded. It doesn't make any sense. I don't think they got nearly enough what they should have got from him, and the team is gone. The team's gone to shit. I mean, I don't agree with the trade. I think if you were going to move him, you should have moved him at the deadline last year. You get Gensel, and this is a different story. I mean, maybe they resign him. Who knows? But even if they didn't resign him, I think that you agreed, like, that was a better return than pretty much getting him. You could pretty much get rid of him for nothing. At least you could have had a cup run with Gensel.
What?
Kakko.
Yeah, seeing what Gensel did with Carolina, I think they probably could have got to the cup with Gensel. I think he could have been the last.
Piece. No offense to Roslovic, he sucks. So somehow he's good now, but with the Rangers he was awful. But still, like he was.
Yeah.
This seems so bad. I feel bad.
If you compare what Ross. I mean, you didn't in the cup.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, obviously a lot better of a chance because you had more scoring depth. I think the scoring depth kind of fizzled out to the end of that run, but I think there's a chance that I think they would have beaten the Panthers. I don't know. Maybe the Oilers would have been outmatched them with their speed, but I don't know. I guess hindsight's 2020, but still, I think that it's kind of a disaster. Kakko's tenure was, you draft the guy second overall. Obviously, wasn't the player you wanted him to be, but then at the same time, he was solid. But I don't know. This team's got a lot of problems, and it just goes to show how the management doesn't really have a good, grasp on this team and the future of this team. So I think I'm happy for Kakko that he gets to leave the shit show, but at the same time, they highly mismanage that.
Yeah, I agree. I think they did fizzle out. I think Gensel could have been kind of the last. He would have been better than Roslovic, and
he's better than Borgen, and listen, the third round pick that we get for Kakko is going to be like Connor McDavid. So We're gonna look back in a couple years and
Hopefully.
be like, hey, listen, we got Connor McDavid in the third
We don't
round.
need McDavid. We already got McDavid. That's Gabe Pro, right?
Will Borgen's a little bit better than Perot, but yeah, Gabe Perot is a beast.
Will Borgen. This guy, he's not. He stinks.
I mean, like, what are your thoughts on them kind of just like going away from Jones? Like, do you think his time is done here? It seems like he's not playing again.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I mean, you're gonna look at this decor a whole lot differently next year because Lindgren's out.
Thank God.
Jones is probably gone. Miller's gone. Vakanainen and Ruido, those guys are like just rentals. They're gone. You'd have Fox and Schneider, and that's probably about it. They're gonna need a whole.
Maybe I guess maybe Mancini. I don't really know.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about him. Mancini
I mean,
potentially.
I don't know how much more he's going to play this year, but I know he's down back at Hartford.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they completely tear this thing down, and next year you could see Mancini will probably get a lot of opportunities. You'll see a lot of like Edstrom next year. You'll see a lot of those guys. You know, especially if they move on from guys like Kreider and stuff. You'll see kind of a younger team that'll at least play hard, but they're not going to win much.
Yeah.
As they kind of start that retool. But maybe Jones is a part of that, but I don't know. They feel like he's.
I don't think they like Jones that much.
No,
but from my
which I don't know why. I've always liked Jones. I think Jones is a little soft, but I think I don't know. Like I'd take Jones over Miller. I think Jones in terms of his ability to move the puck a little bit, I think I know he's soft, I know he's a little bit smaller, but I don't know. I've always liked Jones, but
I've been like pretty impartial on him. I think he's okay. I mean, like I said, he's a little soft, a little small, but we'll see kind of what he turns into. But I guess now you kind of look at it as
they just need more speed defensively, and they don't have that.
What do you think the plan is right now? Is it just wait and see, or is it we're gonna rebuild or we're gonna add? Like,
I think you can really add to this. I don't think you can. I don't really know there's many additions out there that could turn this thing around. The only one would be like getting Kachuk, but that's not happening. That's probably
that could be an off-season move though.
Yeah,
so.
be more of an off-season thing. So right now, there's not much from an addition standpoint that you can really do. To me, I think they'll probably just ride it out. Maybe they trade Kreider, deal him, but other than that, I think Kakko and Trouba were the main ones. I don't think they're going to buy necessarily. I don't really know if that'll be smart to give up assets to maybe get to the playoffs and then lose in the first round. That would be stupid. I think you kind of just ride it out. As painful as it is, I think you ride it out. I mean, they're running out of time. Like, they got to figure something out. I mean, if you're going to fire the coach, you fire the coach now. If you're going to make another trade, make a trade now. You can't wait another month or two because if this keeps going, you're probably looking at, I mean, heck, you probably can't even wait another 2 weeks. You look at it coming up, there's a good chance they're going to come out of this stretch 5-6 games under 500 possibly. So it's I really thought after that Devils game, if they were going to make drastic changes, you know, they scratched Kreider. If they were going to make a drastic change from a coaching perspective, another change or another trade, it should have been after that Devils game where you had a couple days off. You know, you have a practice you had a practice today. You'll have morning skate tomorrow so you could add a new coach come in, get, 2 practices before the first game. Now grind here where you bring in a coach, you make another trade, you don't have many. That's how big moves. I always think you try and do it with. No. I mean, what do you think?
I don't know.
I think you blow it up in the offseason.
I think that's
what I think.
I think regardless of what the record is, unless they manage to get into like, pretty comfortably into a playoff spot, I think the move is to completely, unload at the deadline.
Yeah,
I think
I would do that. I just don't know if they will.
I think they should really heavily consider trading Panarin.
You think so?
Yeah. They gotta rebuild. It's not a retool. I think the rebuild this time. I think the retool didn't work. I mean, if you want to say it worked, they got to two conference finals, but I don't know.
Great.
This 3-year window that they had, they kind of wasted it a little. Where they had to get at least to one finals, I think, and they didn't. I think the game 6 of the conference final was probably their max. The concerning
Yeah.
thing for me now is that this team could go in a full rebuild, and you're going to be paying a goaltender $11.5 million. Like,
Yeah.
what?
That's the problem. I'm telling you, if they could get one contract, if they can get a contract back, well, if they can get a contract back right now, they would probably take back the Mika contract.
Yeah, I mean, at least
But
Igor's good though.
Igor's good, but the timing of it's just not smart. They shouldn't have done it when they did. They
They
like
should have
rushed.
waited. They should
They
have
got the
waited.
caps. Yeah, they got the cap space from the Trouba trade. He's finally off the books. Okay, let's just dump it into Igor. You're right. They should have waited to see maybe we can make more moves with this. Wait to see how the rest of this plays out in the offseason. Like you hire a new coach or just new coach, whatever they do in the offseason, and you
Yeah.
figure that out then. Does that coach want Igor? Where's his stance on the whole goaltending thing? But you know how the Rangers are. Great goalies, nobody in front of them, nobody around him. That's why it feels like we're going to be in a vicious cycle. I think we've entered a stage too where we got to hope, really hope, that guys like Gabe Pro and all these players just pan out. Because if they pan out and they work for us, that could speed things up so much. Like maybe then, not a full it's probably going to need to be a full rebuild. But like if Pro comes up and plays really well and Cooley continues to develop, you've got Berard. I think Trocheck. Heedle obviously still around. You've got Lafreniere. I know he's kind of disappeared since the contract, but
Yeah. Oh my God, he's
like,
been like so
he's been
invisible. I mean, you pay him all that money, and then he
yeah,
absolutely lays an egg for the rest of them. Like last 2 months, he's been terrible. Terrible. I mean, just absolutely. And when's the last time that dude's Lafreniere buried? Like, I don't even know the last time he scored a goal.
Scored. It's
It
been
might
a
have
while.
it's got to be at least a month. I could be wrong. I'm gonna look that up right now and see. See game logs. All right, I'm gonna look it up, and you guess for me. Ready?
All right, I'll guess.
All right, let's see. Lafreniere.
Wait, are we asking the last time he got a point or the last time he
scored a goal? Okay.
How long has it been this month?
He scored. Yeah, he has scored in this month.
Okay. It is December 27th, so if he hasn't scored this month, that's bad. Did they win or lose?
They lost.
If they won, it's obvious. Okay, they lost.
Yeah, they lost.
If they won, it's obvious.
They lost
because they've only won 3 games this month. Go to the list. I mean, wasn't the LA game they got crushed? It was 5-1. He didn't score that game. The Blackhawks game, I think that happened in December. That did. They lost. That was 2-1. They lost, so couldn't Sabres. Wait, did he score in Seattle or at home? Because that was 7-5. I don't remember the goal, but I'm just thinking.
So he's gone 8 games without scoring, and over the last month, he like if you take now, so he scored since the 21st. He scored the 21st of December. Since then, he scored 2 goals. Or 1 goal. 1 goal. He's got 1 goal.
2 goals?
He's got 1 goal in his last
December?
15 games. 1 goal in his last 15 games.
Jeez. That's the typical contract. And let me disappear now. That's what that is. He's Houdini.
One goal in 15
here.
How is that possible? 1 goal in 15 games? Am I right?
That's what happens. Get paid and then just disappear. It's the Ranger way. Mika.
I mean,
making a ton.
Dude, what's going on?
with life.
1 goal in 15 games. They're paying this guy 7-something million.
Then they lost in the game he scored. Yeah. But to my point of the whole rebuild retool, if those guys pan out, Lafreniere gets his head out of his butt, I guess. Maybe this could be a little bit quicker.
He should get. I mean, for as bad as he's been, he still should be getting the power play. He should be getting more time than Zibanejad in the power play.
Be. And if we're being honest, Lafreniere going through a slump is the furthest thing from the Rangers' biggest problems.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing your first line center. Is like I don't like. Is he?
I mean,
he's a
Kreider's getting scratched. Mika stinks.
Is he a
Trocheck hasn't been very good this year. There's a lot of other guys.
Dude, is he even a fourth line player?
Mika right now, yeah. No. He doesn't even look like he wants to be there. Like, he looks he looks sad and lost. He looks like a lost puppy out there on the ice. And I don't mean that like joking, like seriously. Yeah. Like you said in off air, if you actually pay attention, you look at his face, he looks so like upset. He is sensitive. I think Larry Brooks had the article on it that the outside noise does get to him, which that's bad. You got to have some thick skin to play in New York. Nobody cares about New York. So what have you done for me lately, city? The Rangers are definitely a what have you done for me lately fan base. You know, nobody cares about those the 5 goals you scored against the Capitals pre-COVID or any of that nonsense. The last 2 seasons, you've been awful. You've been on this constant regression. So he's got to grow up in terms of like the media and stuff like that. And he's got to just face the fact that, you know, Kreider hasn't played well, so he's obviously benched or scratched. I know they're best buds, but
I don't know. I feel like, and they keep like forcing them back. Like they're playing. It looks like they're back together on the same line.
Yeah,
like,
of course they are.
I mean, what?
I don't think they can mix and match much more. I think they've almost hit every combo. I think the next thing is to put like Miko with like Rempe and Edstrom or something.
Speaking of Rempe, he's suspended now.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? I mean,
I think it's a little long. He was playing well that game too. He had 3. He drew 3 penalties. He was playing well, provided a little bit of energy, and then boom, threw his elbows again. It's intense. And he's just kind of got to like learn how to play with his body at the NHL level. I think 8 games was a lot. I mean, I think it was a little. What do you think?
I agree.
I think 8 was a lot. Maybe 4. I don't know if 8 was necessary. I've seen worse that have gotten less than 8 for that.
They just hate Rempe, the NFL or the NHL.
Yeah, they do. And I genuinely don't think I just think he's a young player that's got to learn. That's what he is. And maybe I'm a homer, maybe I'm being biased, but I don't think it's a crazy take. Like, he's not going around throwing elbows purposely. I mean, it was a hockey play. He's got to learn. He's got to learn to like play with his body. He's got to learn at the NHL level to be be smarter. I know he's got a track record already, but I don't think this is some guy that's headhunting.
Dude, this year is Zibanejad 5-5, has 3 goals, 6 assists for 9 points.
This season?
3 goals, 5-5.
Wow, that's brutal.
You think he'll go on another stretch like he did last year where we went from like Christmas to like March, or no?
It's possible. When's the last time he scored?
When's the last time? Dude, it's when you ask me these questions, it takes me like an hour to find it because
because they don't score.
I don't know. I think it was a Buffalo game. He hasn't scored in the last. He hasn't got a point in the last 5 games. He hasn't got a point in the last 5 games. Holy fuck!
It was
the last game he scored was Buffalo. That was the 11th. That was a power play goal, I think, too. He hasn't scored a 5-5 goal since.
Yeah, Buffalo.
He hasn't scored a 5-5 goal since November 19th. That's absurd. November 19th was the last time he scored a 5-5 goal.
We've had Thanksgiving and Christmas since that.
I mean, it's ridiculous. The 19th of November, your number one center can't score a 5-on-5 goal.
Nope.
I mean, I just don't understand. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, I do.
he's gone.
He sucks, and he contract till 2030,
Dude,
which is
in his
great.
last 8 games, he's 1 point. 1 point in his last 8 games. I mean, why isn't he benched? Right? It doesn't make any sense how this organization operates.
No, it's the same teams every year. It's the same teams every year, and it's Insanity's doing the same thing over and over again until they fix it. Until they move on from this core, nothing will change. And who even knows if the next core, if anything, will even change?
He's been terrible. I mean, Kreider hasn't been he hasn't been good, but for as bad as he's been, I think he's on pace for like 30 goals this year, which is crazy.
Yeah, he's better than what Mika. Kreider's Kreider.
I think Panarin's having a decent year. I think he's on pace for around 95 points, which is insane because this team isn't scoring the power play, so I don't know how he is. Fox hasn't been great. We said Lafreniere's been bad. Trocheck hasn't been good. No pun intended, but like, you ready for this one? Guess who's kind of cooled off a little?
Cooley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of cooled off.
That whole line. I mean, well, it was the whole.
Hedl has done nothing since he came back.
No.
I'm stat mining again. You know that guy on Twitter, stat miner?
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's see. Let's see.
Hedl's last goal.
Let's see the last time Hedl's gotten a point. It might have been that Seattle game. Oh no, he got a point against St. Louis.
Oh. Yes, and last goal was the Kings.
He scored against the Kings?
That disaster.
Okay, let's see. And since returning from injury, when did he return from injury? It might have been that Montreal game. So when was that? Home against Montreal. There we go. Okay. Since returning back from injury, he has 3 points in 11 games. 3 points in 11 games. Again, like, he's not someone that you're really blaming for the reasoning why this team's so bad, but at the same time, 3 points in 11 games is not good. It just seems like everybody's bad. Is anybody playing well? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like anyone's playing well on this team. Time after time, it's the same thing.
Yeah. It's
you're lagging a lot.
Yeah, I might be lagging.
You lagging is almost as brutal as the Rangers, I think.
Yeah, it might be. Right now, it is.
It's so bad.
I got one ball.
Both. I mean, honestly, more so than the Rangers. I'd rather watch you lag than this god awful effort that this team gives night in and night out. Realistically, Where's this team finish?
Like in the Metro or like the East?
Just in general, like in anything, Metro, East, NHL. Just where do you think this team kind of ends up?
Division. Realistically, they probably end up like 5th, 4th, and then
do they finish ahead?
Probably end up like 4th.
Do they finish ahead of the Flyers?
Yeah, I think so. The Flyers will probably collapse like they did last year. I don't know. They're playing better. They're playing a lot better after their rough start. There was some chatter about O'Sullivan potentially getting fired. after the
Dude,
rough
I would
start.
love Mike Sullivan.
I would.
What about like is all right? So what are the playoff percentage right now? You think?
Right now,
Yeah,
probably.
like 30 or
Wasn't
higher
there?
than
Isn't
that?
there that thing?
15?
Isn't there that puck? I forget what
I
that
got you.
Twitter
I got you.
called. They
I
have that
got you.
diagram.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the
Money
official?
puck.
Let's see the official
I think
diagram.
it's like
What's their
I
cup
think it's like
odds?
I think it's like their cup odds are probably like 1%.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Rangers.
playoff is probably 36.
All right, dude. That was not even close. Not even close of what they have the Rangers odds at. You want to know what it is? You're lagging. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's
My
not even
odds
close. Guess. Keep
for the
guessing.
Rangers. It's not. It's lower than 30
A lot lower. Like not even close to 30.
for their playoff odds.
Playoffs.
10,
Lower than that.
4.
Lower than that.
Jeez, 2,
Higher than that.
3.
3%. They have a 3.2% chance of making the playoffs, according to Money Puck.
That's brutal.
And
3%.
they're 3%, and then their cup odds is. Oh, you can't even I can't even touch it. It's so small. 0.1.
Jeez, 0.1.
Yeah. 0.1 chance to. Oh, yeah, that's to win the cup. To make the conference final.
Hey,
I can't
better
even see
tell.
it.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
You can't even see it. It's like it might be less than 0.1. What happened to the team we knew and love? The team of
crazy?
destiny. They went from the team of destiny to the team of. I don't know what's a good word to use. The team of defeat.
Team of defeat. Yeah, I think that's good. Because last year they had the perfect mix of talent and a little bit of luck and magic. This year they've got nothing.
This team has got, as the kids like to say, this team's got negative aura.
Yeah, negative aura, as the kids like to say, and they do not catch many W's.
No, there's no W's in the chat. So this
no
team
W's in chat.
Oh my God! How this team
a 0.7% chance to make the second round? Oh, I know. Yeah, point.
It's so small. You can't even on that graphic. You can't even you can go. I was on the chart. Probably shows it better.
Yeah.
What is it? Where's the chart have?
Scrolling.
Oh no, the chart has some 0% chance to win the cup.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that's possible. 0% chance to make the conference final. 0.1% chance to go to the second round. 0.7% chance to make. Oh wait, no. To make the final, 0% chance. 0.7 to make the conference. 0.1 to make the conference final. 0.3 or 0.7 to make the second round.
They're projected 76.8 points.
Where does that finish? Is that top 10?
76.8. Right? Top 10.
That's got to be top 10, right?
Let's see. Where would they finish? 30. Let's see. Hold on. Let me. I gotta find it. Yes. 6.8. Anaheim's at 7. So they would finish right now where they have them finishing. 30, 29, 28, 26, 26th in the NHL in points. They would be San Jose, Buffalo, Chicago, Columbus, Detroit, Anaheim, Rangers, Seattle, Montreal, Islanders. They've got Nashville finishing ahead of them. No way.
What is it?
First pick. Let's see. This is the real stuff. 76.8%
chance to get the first pick.
No, the first pick. is 6.6.
Oh, that's not bad.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
That's like
6.
fifth or sixth,
Seventh
right?
highest.
Seventh. Dude, we
Seventh
could do
highest, yeah.
we could do it.
San
I'm
Jose's
confident.
got the highest at 17, Buffalo 10. Although I think Buffalo's going to be higher.
Listen,
There,
dude.
the wheels are going to they
I'm
suck so
confident in
bad.
this team to be bad.
Let's see who's got the the lowest odds of a first pick that actually have odds. Colorado at 0.1. Boston and Dallas.
They're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah. Let's see. First in the division. Oh, 0%.
0% chance. It's
Second in the
crazy.
division, 0%. Third, 0.3%. To get the wild card, second wild card, 2.1. Jeez.
What happened to this team? Who do you blame more? Sabanija? Like who is like the main factor you think of? Like if you could point to, I know it's a team effort.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I think a lot of this does fall on Drury's plate.
You
Like I
think
don't think
Drury's
he
is the
handled
main culprit of like,
he handled this offseason horribly.
Yeah.
He's doing everything he should have did in the offseason or at last year's trade deadline. He's doing now.
Yeah.
He's like he's a season too late on everything. He should have traded Trouba in the offseason. He should have dealt Kakko if they weren't high on him last year. Instead, he didn't do any of those, and now he's doing it now. So really, it's probably Drury. In terms of player-wise, though, yeah, I mean, Mika has been all. If you think about it, if Mika was what he was like 3 years ago, this team would be so much better. So much better. Because then Kreider would be playing better. The first line would actually be competent. Or if you even want to call him the first line, we get it. It'd be like Drury, Mika. After that, it's probably, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe Coach Peter not changing up the power play at all. I don't know.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that this team could go that far. I mean, maybe I was thinking wild card, or maybe like third or second in the division. I wasn't sure if they were going to win it again, but oh my god!
I mean, no. I mean, I think we all expected this team to get to the playoffs. We said it. The regular season means nothing. We all were saying it, that they've got to get whatever happens in the playoffs. We even said it earlier in the year. We were talking about every episode. Whenever like Panarin or somebody like that, we would talk about, oh, he's got to do it in the playoffs. Got to do it in the playoffs. And here we are. We're not even going to sniff the playoffs.
It's just crazy. It's crazy how this team has gotten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like you think Peter's gone soon, or you think he's definitely going to go to the end of the year?
I think if my gut tells me he's going to go to the end of the year, but I could be wrong.
Do you see them maybe like you see a guy like Panarin going this year? Or you think to hold on to him?
I think they'll hold on. I think out of all the guys, the least likely to get traded would be Panarin. In terms of like the Mikas, the Kreiders, those guys.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. It's like there's really nothing you can say.
No.
At the same time, it's just you can kind of see what the team is. You know what I mean?
Like for next year, you mean?
Well, no, like you could kind of see some of the stuff that the team was doing.
Well, yeah, I mean they were off to a hot start.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying just in general, like you could see kind of the problems in prior years, but
oh yeah,
not this.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying. Sorry, I wasn't.
Yeah, there is some of this there, but
well, I mean, even last year they went through the January stretch where you saw these type of problems, not as bad, but you saw them for that month stretch. Mika struggled all of last year, so we saw that. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you've also seen this team, and we saw it all those years with Lundqvist where they get bailed out by Igor a ton.
Yeah.
Even in the playoffs, they got bailed out by Igor a lot in a couple of those games. Same thing this year. But we've known that. We know the Rangers like to get bailed out by their goaltenders. Oh, my God.
What?
Jeez, I'm just looking at some of these more numbers from Money Puck. It's terrible.
It's ridiculously bad.
What does Will Borgen actually do? Jesus, this guy
Nothing.
sucks.
He's bad.
You look at his numbers after all the games, like he's completely in the category, like all the. He's always bad. He's never in anywhere. He's awful. But remember, the Rangers wanted him. I remember after the trade got done, it was like, this is the guy the Rangers were targeting. They liked him. They've liked Will Borgen for some time now.
Because he's slow and he's bad defensively.
Yes.
It fits right in. He fits right in with everybody else. I mean, you know what's the biggest saddest thing about the season is that it's Sam Rosen's last year.
Yeah.
It was a great going away present for Sam Rosen.
You could just hear the depression in Sam Rosen's voice.
Yeah. They really messed up. They really did it. They did this team they did everybody bad.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel bad for people that still go to those games. I mean, I guess a lot of it's kind of like suits, but still, like people that spend their money on this team, like.
Yeah, it's also probably a lot of just season ticket holders.
You feel bad for them, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel bad for the season ticket holders, especially because they're the ones paying every single night. And then when the team sucks and they're trying to sell their tickets, they can't sell. So they're definitely not getting any return in their investment.
The game against the Bruins is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're not going to be able to get that.
Like, what? No one's paying $200 to go watch the freaking Bruins versus the Rangers.
No. On a Thursday night, too. It'd be one thing if it was like a day game. That's a weeknight. If it was like a Friday night or a Saturday night or even just like a Saturday day game.
The cheapest ticket to stand is $200. Plus, that's not even including fees.
Not including fees, not including if you get food, including your ride there, transportation. You pay the tolls. If you live in Jersey and you're coming up, pay the tolls. Coming up the turnpike. If you take an Uber, take a train, that's money. Especially an Uber. Those things can be freaking like $80.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going into the city. That's asking a lot. And then coming out of the city is another 80. So you're spending like 160 on an Uber. Plus 200. Like let's say 230 after fees. That's what, $390 right there.
And then just say like you're going with your kid. Say dad's going with his kid. That's not even just the $230 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
it's double that.
Double that. $460.
It's like
transportation.
$600 to go to a Ranger game.
You know the kid's probably gonna want something from the apparel shop. Get him a hat. That's another like $25.
Jeez. You get him like
he's gonna want the young kid would want like chicken tenders, and then he's gonna want like oh my God.
You're paying like $600 at least to go to the Ranger game.
Watch him get 12 shots on goal and get shut out.
Yeah.
What's it called? Oh my God. Cotton candy. Get him like chicken tenders and in third period intermission or second intermission cotton candy run. Jeez.
I mean, what a rip off. I mean, jeez.
I wouldn't do it. I'm done. The Devils game, that was it for me. That was it for a while. I mean, they played the Devils again in April.
No, dude. You're not going to that game.
I'm not going. No.
Hey, that's the next time they play the Devils?
Well, no, at Prudential. The next time they play the Devils in like 2 weeks, they play them in January.
And then they don't play them until April then. Because they play them.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
They're playing them a lot here recently. They have like 2 December, then January, and then they have a long break. So, anyway, should we get to goal picks?
Yeah, let's get this over with.
I don't even know who we're gonna pick. Nobody scores. All right. We'll probably have an episode up before the. Actually, we could do the Boston game, I guess.
Let's just do the next 3 games.
Yeah, I'll just do the next 3. All right, Tampa, Florida.
You can go. You can take the first pick. I don't care.
Tampa. All right. I'm going to go Kreider. He's definitely scoring. Kreider revenge game. Go Kreider against Tampa.
I'll do Panarin. So you go against Panthers.
Panthers. Will Cooley. That feels like a Cooley game.
Yeah, I'll go Trocheck.
All right. Boston. Jeez. At home. This could be like maybe this could be like a VZ game, maybe. Give the fans something to cheer about after they get swept in Florida.
Yeah.
Like a minute in, give them something to cheer about. I could see, why not? Jimmy VZ against Boston.
Jimmy?
That's a terrible pick, but I'm going to do it anyway. Himmy VZ against Boston. 10 seconds in.
I'll go. I'll go Brett Berard.
Ah, I like it. I don't think any of us have picked him yet. I mean, he's barely been up.
First time picker.
First time.
Brett Berard.
Now, if he hits and he scores, then you've got to pick him. You got to just keep picking him. Then
you got to pick him until he stops scoring. I mean, if he scores one game in a row,
we got to spark the team. Like one of these goal picks is going to hit and it's going to spark him. Like I could see VZ if he scores against Boston, that could be the spark.
What will it take for us to unban Mika?
A lot. He'd have to go on a scoring spree.
But then when we pick him, he stops scoring again.
Yeah, he probably would. What would it take for you? What if you imagine if we were doing the podcast when he had the 5 goals against the Capitals and one of us said Mika 5 goals?
We're probably like next episode, but bro, Mika's the best player in the NHL. Like this guy's better than McDavid.
After
the 5-goal game, just be glazing him.
Mika.
Mm-hmm.
And then the world shut down. We should have known.
And then Mika shut down. Mika hasn't been here since COVID.
Yeah. Mika's still out there on the ice jumping up against the boards. When he was like, he's still doing that. He hasn't left. All right. So that's it. We'll be back next week. Quick question. Does this team finish over the NHL 500 mark?
Probably. I'd say yeah. I'd say yes.
I think so too. I think so too. I could see them. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I agree. All right, that'll do it. We'll see you next week to probably talk about at least 2 more losses.
Probably.
And probably still no Mika goals. Probably how many goals are we gonna see between now and next time we record? 3? They're definitely getting shut out.
5. I say 5.
5?
Yeah.
Do they win any of the games? Yeah. Yeah. I think they're going to get shut out one of the next 3. Yeah, maybe like 4. They might score 2 against Tampa and then score 2 again. I don't know. 4 goals.
It's the Rangers, so, you never know, I guess.
Or this could be the start of, a stretch where people start to buy back in again just for them to get smoked to whoever they play in the first round. So
that'd be so Rangers.
That would be. So that'll do it. We will see you back here next week. And thanks for watching. Go Rangers. LGR.